live. We're back.
I love your bandana.
I know, right? I feel
Very
like I'm
stylish.
gonna rob somebody right now. Who would have thought these things would come back?
I know, right?
I threw actually a bunch that I had away, and then I was like, I'm never gonna use this. I'm like, who wears bandanas now? I don't want to be that guy. And then this shit
was such a
happens,
phase.
and then you have to wear a mask, and then like the fucking other mask, they hurt my ears after a while. So I'm like, these gotta be more comfortable, and they
Yeah,
look
but
cool.
are they effective? That's the problem. That's
Oh
the
no,
question.
definitely not.
Like,
It's just a cloth.
it's just a it's a fashion.
Covers your face, and you kind of look like a badass.
Where's the protection in there? That's why this doesn't make any sense.
No,
We're
because they're just like,
this whole
as long as it
fucking-
covers your face, you're like, okay. Like people are making like socks into masks and shit.
I know. When I see those videos of like just
know.
a piece of cloth, I'm like, what is that? Like you should see the
mean-
stuff that we wear in the hospital. It's no joke. It's
They
like a
literally-
shield. Bah.
Right.
Just too much.
And they literally came out with all these videos like,
On like
this is
do
how
it
you do
yourself.
it. You use like hair ties.
Yeah.
You fold it like this, and boom! Like all of a
yeah.
sudden, we all became experts
Yeah.
on
I
how
saw
to
there
make
was-
masks.
There's like a sock one. Did you see that one? The
No, I
they-
saw the T-shirt one where you cut the T-shirt in half,
No, I
and
didn't
then
see
you
that
make
one.
strips.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Of,
I tried
cloth.
it. It was too much work. It was an old T-shirt. I threw it away.
Yeah. So.
So we're going to Denver
Yeah.
in like 3 or 4 days. Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous to do that hike, but
Yes.
But yeah, it's gonna be dope.
We're doing a 14er. Bring it a little closer to you. You can move it. The swivels. Yeah, we're doing a 14er, which is stands for 14,000 feet of elevation. You were a little worried because you've had altitude sickness in the past.
Yeah, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever had altitude sickness?
Okay, so the way I explain it for me was like it's a light. It's not even a headache. I would just say it's pressure in your head, and it takes a while for me to like catch my breath. So like what I noticed is the pressure that was in my head, and then the fact that I took longer to catch my breath. But it was just uncomfortable. It was nothing like I couldn't take. I can see though how like if you keep going, 15, 16, 18, then you get to like
You see,
Everest.
I think I can deal with that, like that symptom that you just had, you explained, because there's nothing worse than like not being able to breathe. So that's what happened to me last time when I got altitude sickness. Like I could not breathe, and it's like you get really anxious because you're trying to catch your breath.
Right, I think that's what's going on, yeah.
Yeah, like that's the
But I
most
understood if I
common.
just took my time.
Right. So
You
I was
know?
reading up like you're supposed to elevate progressively, like little by little.
Right. But I mean, no matter how you look at it, us from Florida, it's going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, we're
There's
going
gonna
from
be times
like,
where
what
you're
is
like,
this,
I can't
below
breathe.
sea level, like, or is Miami
6
what's
feet
the
above?
6 feet above, right? And we're going like above 10,000 feet.
Yes. We start at 4,000, and then it
Yeah,
gets
because
to
Denver's like no, I think Denver's 6,000, isn't it?
4,000 from the Mile High City. I think that's what I heard. What I heard last time.
I wish we had a Jamie.
I'm
Jamie,
the
can you look that up?
I know, right? I mean, this is how he used to do it before. He would just do it live, you know?
And then he would just look stuff up on his phone.
Altitude of Denver. Yeah, so 5,000 feet.
Wow.
Yeah, a little bit above a mile. So imagine we land at 5,000. I think the trailhead starts at like maybe 8 to 10,000. So on the drive there, you already feel the altitude. Like you already feel like the pressure is building. And then you
Right.
start the hike and yeah. I mean, you just have to, for me at least, I have to understand I'm going to be uncomfortable. That's normal. Just
But
don't freak
I also
out.
think like the adrenaline of us doing the hike
Yeah.
and the excitement is just gonna,
Yeah.
it's gonna.
Imagine I was in Peru when I did the Rainbow Mountain, which is 15,000 feet, and we barely slept. We ate a bunch of like pasta and pizza and beer the night before, and I don't really do that as much. And I woke up with diarrhea that day, and I was like, oh no, like this is the worst
That
time to have
sucks.
diarrhea is to be going on a mountain where there's like no bathrooms
Fuck that.
and but you already pay for it. I had
Oh
my trip
man.
already planned out, so I already paid for this guide.
Were you like shitting yourself?
I wasn't
Like, did you
shitting
did you
myself,
feel
but
like you
like,
had to go like right
yeah.
when everyone's walking and you're looking
it,
around like where the fuck am I gonna take
so
this
like my
off?
stomach started hurting, and I was like focusing so hard on just trying to like keep my stomach like good, but then the pressure starts building up, so I'm like,
You didn't cramp up?
I was cramping. I could barely breathe. I
That's
had nausea.
terrible.
I wanted to throw up at all times. I wanted to go to the bathroom. I started feeling weak. I
Yeah.
was like
I
just
bet you were like sweating
I was sweating. I
and
was looking for,
diaphoretic.
yeah, I
Like,
was looking for sugar. I was like, I need a soda or
oh,
something.
oh my god, that's
Yeah.
the worst.
It was rough. But you know what? I got through it. Even my boy
Wait, so you
Gio that
didn't
was with
stop? You
me.
didn't make a stop and like
They had
to the
like two
bathroom?
potties. They were these fake porta potties. It was like literally a hole in the
Oh
in the
yeah, you told
floor.
me.
Yeah, and they dump a bucket over and you give them like a couple cents or whatever. So I used that. I'm glad I took toilet paper. I was good, especially when I finally went to the bathroom. But I still felt like shit, and I still made it up to 15,000 feet. Even my boy Gio was making fun of me because he went up quickly. He was up there waiting for me. And then when I
Oh no
finally get
way.
there, he's like, dude, what took you so long? I was like, dude, I'm dying over here. I'm like, I feel so weak. You know what I mean? Like, I could barely breathe. I got
Oh
nausea. I have to go to the
man.
bathroom. My stomach keeps turning. But fuck it. That adrenaline of the mountain, like, made me get up there. I was like, I'm gonna get up there. I'm gonna take the pictures and I'm gonna leave. And as soon as we take the pictures, I'm ready to go back down. And our guide decides to tell us the history of Rainbow Mountain. She's like, let's all sit down. And I'm like,
I'm like,
fuck
fuck.
no. I'm about to shit my pants. I can't sit down right now. And then
But
whatever,
wait,
I was able to
you
hold it.
couldn't go down yourself. You had to wait for the guide
I
and
didn't
the group.
have to, but like I didn't want to. I mean, I was kind of there, and I was like, okay, maybe it's not gonna be that long. And I kind of wanted to hear about the history too, but the whole time I'm struggling.
That's
And
terrible.
then finally, yeah, we walked back down. I started feeling better, but the ride back was the worst because it was very bumpy. So every time we would hit a bump, I would just be like, oh no, I'm gonna throw up. Oh no, I gotta take a
Oh
shit. Like I was going
man.
through like food poisoning for
Jesus.
sure. God, there's a
That's
bug in here.
terrible.
I was going through like food poisoning symptoms. It was terrible. So I'm sure if I could do that, I could do the
Yeah, if
14er.
you can handle that,
That's
it's not
really
rough.
like what I took away from that is the fact that I was able to still make the hike, even though I was going through all that shit. Even though I wanted to quit, I wanted to stay in the
Jesus.
car. I
Yeah,
was like, nah, I'm never gonna be back here. Probably. I was like, I gotta get up
you're
there,
brave.
and I just with one stick, just 5 steps at a time,
Shit.
breathe 5 steps at a time, stop and breathe,
Oh
and then I
my
would just
god.
like slowly make my way up this shit. It was rough because every step you're just gassed. You have to, like, it's like you just sprinted. Yeah, I was so
Yeah,
out of breath, and on top of that, going through all this internal shit, but I got through it though. Yeah.
that's awesome.
So I'm sure you'll
Most
be.
people would be like, no,
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass
They would have.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm not worried at all.
Yeah.
Cause like we work out, we're very athletic. Our endurance is pretty high.
Mhm.
So
Yep. That's really the main factor. It's like if you have good cardio, you should be fine. It's usually people that don't have good cardio, and then they're out of breath, and then it just takes them a while, and then they start freaking out, like I can't breathe, I can't breathe, and then you start really getting shortness of breath.
right.
You know, but if you stay calm, take it one step at a time, try to stay relaxed, breathe through your nose. I'm sure that should help. Because you don't want to be, you want
Oh
to try to be
no, when you hyperventilate.
real, real slow through your nose,
Yeah.
so you're breathing correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be fun though.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait. And then we're gonna do a podcast of us talking about the hike afterwards.
Yes.
So that's gonna be interesting.
Yes.
Like to think right now, our future self.
Right.
Like we went through it. Like we're done. Now we get to talk about it.
Yeah. That's what's always fun is seeing
That'd
the
be cool.
before and after reaction. Yeah, especially for you because you've never done anything like this before. I've done a couple, so I kind of know what to expect.
Not a 14er, no.
Yeah.
I don't think I would
I didn't
do
even know that was a thing. I found out. I think I was reading something about like the best hikes in Colorado because I was trying to go last year. I gotta clock in. Getting paid at home.
We wish we all.
I know, right?
Oh, man.
But then I found out about 14ers. I looked it up. There's like 16 or 20 14ers. It's like a big thing that people do is like, a badge of honor. I hiked the 14er because it's no joke. But if you think about Mount Everest, that's 28,000 feet. It's like 14er sounds like nothing compared to that.
Right.
Excuse me real quick while
So is this like a half marathon type of thing?
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
badge like that. Yeah. But I like this. I mean, look, a marathon is difficult. A marathon is difficult.
Wow.
It's a good badge of honor for sure to be able to run a marathon. But also like hiking difficult hikes and going up pretty high. That's like yeah, it's another thing.
It's a different level.
It's a different level. Yeah. And then you realize how many there are. You're like, oh my god, I could do a 14er every year.
Shit, if we
I'm
lived
sure
in
there's
Colorado,
18ers. I'm sure there's like I wonder what's the highest mountain in the United States.
Isn't it Mount Everest? Oh no, wait.
Everest, yeah. But like let's say we wanted to go domestic somewhere in the United States.
Right.
Tallest.
Jamie.
I know, right? It should be able to change the names from Siri
From
to Jamie.
Siri to Jamie.
That'd be great.
Oh, I love it.
Tallest mountain in the United States.
Jamie.
Denali Mountains is the highest peak in North America with a summit of 20,000 feet.
Wow.
Wow, where is it? Located in Alaska Range in the interior of the U.S. Alaska. Denali. Wow, 20,000 feet.
You gotta go to Alaska.
Ooh, man.
Would
So
you do
imagine,
it? Would you do that?
I feel like that's next. Because like you do a 14er.
That's next in a couple years.
Yeah,
like,
you do
let's not get a hold.
This is the I know.
Let's work our way up.
This is the mindset of someone who's competitive. Is like you do one thing. Like I ran a half marathon.
Yeah, but you also
I never
have to
thought
be
I could
realistic, like with yourself and your body. And
Right,
and your
right. But like, why not?
limitations.
If you do a little bit more every year,
Right, it's like
why not?
running.
It's like running. Just like running. When I did my first 13 miles, I never thought I would do another 13 miles again.
Yeah.
And then I ran 3 Spartan 13 milers last year. And, you get used to running for 2 hours. Like, you start doing workouts where you're running for 2 hours. And you cannot believe your legs can actually do 2 hours. Because it's something that was so foreign to you back then. But then you realize, like, yeah, if you put the work in, you can get to 2 miles of running. You can get to, 2 hours of running or 3 hours of running. Same goes
Crazy.
if you're pushing the limit every time, going to 14 and then 15 and then 18. Yeah, I'm sure.
Wow.
But 20.
Those are goals.
20, oof.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. If 15 felt like it felt, I can't imagine what 20 would feel like. It feels like there's like this pressure, like constant pressure on you. Like your body's just like working harder. You know how you feel like really relaxed right now? There's no like pressure. Like as soon as
When
you
you-
land,
when
I
you-
feel like the air pressure.
Really?
Yeah, like because there's less oxygen. So it's like I can feel my
Shit.
body trying to like fight more to get more oxygen. I remember when I did the Beast Spartan race in Snowmass Village, which is 8,000 feet. As soon as that race was done, so that race took me 4 hours. It took me forever because it was so much up and down. There's a lot of walking. There's parts you could not run. When it was over, and I get back to the Airbnb, I just wanted to cool down so bad. I was so hot.
Holy shit.
And there was no central AC in the Airbnb. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I was like, I picked the one Airbnb. Actually, it's happened twice to me already. In Colorado, some places they don't have central AC because it's always cold at night. So they
you
just
took
open
the
up the
coldest
window.
shower of your life.
That didn't even help. I took
No?
a cold ass shower. I
Oh
stood there
my
for 20
gosh.
minutes. And then I go back and I'm sitting in the bed and I'm just not cooling down. I was so overheated. And the worst part was like I couldn't get enough oxygen either. Like I couldn't wait to get back to Denver because
Oh,
the
wow.
Airbnb was still around Snowmass. It was still like 8,000 feet.
Oh, I read about Snowmass. I found a cool hike.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yes, it's around there. It's a
It's
3-hour drive. It's
beautiful.
a
That
beautiful place. I would
yeah.
definitely go back
Isn't it right by
in the
Aspen? So
winter.
it's by Aspen, right? Isn't it?
Not sure exactly, but it's around
I
there.
think so.
They're like all pretty much 3 to 4 hours away from Denver.
Snowmass. Yeah.
Snowmass Village. Yeah, it was beautiful. It's a ski resort, obviously in the
Okay.
winter.
Yeah, it's right by Aspen.
Yeah,
So that's, I think, I don't know if I showed it to you or sent it to you. Because I wanted to do another hike. And
it's around
there's
there.
one that I found in Snowmass.
Yeah, that was the one
I
you
was
sent
like,
me, the 14er. Yeah,
yes. Okay.
that one's beautiful.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
well, we got a plan for that one.
It's like, but it's like a 3 hour and a half
Mhm.
drive.
Yeah,
Would have took us more time.
we'll do it. I'm sure eventually. But
Have you
yeah,
been to the
I just
Red
could not
Rocks
recover.
National Park in Colorado?
The Red Rocks by the amphitheater.
It's like up north of Denver. Yeah,
How north?
not too much. It's called the Red Rocks,
Yeah, it's
and
the
it's a
red.
national park. Like, and there's a bunch of hikes that you can do there too.
Yeah, it's probably the same area where the Red Rocks amphitheater is, because there's a bunch of trails connecting through there. I'm sure that the park is right next to it too. Yeah, there's also like
sure.
Matthews Winter Park.
Oh,
It's also very beautiful. Can you do me a favor and pass me the water?
yeah.
I need my agua. Thanks.
Red Rocks National.
No, Colorado is definitely a hiking paradise.
It really is.
There's so
Best
much you
place
could
to
do.
be.
And so much camping.
Yeah, Colorado, Oregon,
Hmm.
California.
Now I know about was it Wyoming? Montana. The one
Montana?
you sent me.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I didn't know about that park.
The Tannin something?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I know. That place looks beautiful. National Conservation. Wait, is it this? Yeah. But I definitely want to go to Colorado. I mean, sorry, Canada.
Mm.
Like, that's a must.
Oh yeah, Banff is happening for sure. Check.
So you think we're gonna see any bears?
I hope not.
I hope I mean, I'm not afraid of the black ones, but the brown ones, yeah, I'm terrified.
I don't think there's
like if
brown bears in Colorado though.
like grizzly bears.
Yeah,
Or is
those
that
are
what
in
they're-
like Montana.
Oh,
Are there grizzly bears in Colorado? No confirmed sightings of grizzly in
Oh, okay.
Colorado since
So-
1979.
all right. So they have those black little bears,
Little
the small,
bears, yeah.
they're
the
not
worst we'll
dangerous
see.
at all.
But there are mountain lions though. Big cats. Are there mountain lions in Denver? I'm sure that there's mountain lions hit with new hunting. We know about mountain lions. Yeah, they have mountain lions. There's been 3 attacks in Colorado in 2019.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
I would have never thought mountain lions.
Mountain lions, yeah.
Holy shit,
Big cats.
That's pretty
They
scary.
can fuck you up.
Yeah,
They can fuck you up.
I'm more afraid of a cat than a bear. That's for sure.
But to be honest, like we're in pairs, they're gonna try to take out something that's like easy.
The weakest link.
Right. They're not gonna try to attack 2 people. At least I don't know. I mean, they could attack anybody if they're hungry enough, but usually if you go through a trail where there's a lot of people, you're not gonna see them. You know. It's usually like when you're doing trails that you're really remote because they haven't heard anything for a while, and then you happen to walk through, and
Yeah.
then that could happen. Yeah. But yeah, you're definitely on alert. There's no time where I'm thinking like, actually, like we're probably gonna see rattlesnakes.
Yeah, because this is summer.
Mhm.
It's
When
warm.
when I went a couple years ago, I saw a bear, a rattlesnake, and deer in like a matter of
Oh
2
my
or 3
gosh.
days. I did about
that's
2
scary.
2 different hikes, and I saw the rattlesnake was the one that was crazy because I saw it from like about 15 feet away, and it just like started moving through the grass and onto the sidewalk.
And they're like camouflage, right?
Yeah,
they're
but
the
it went
same
over the
color of
concrete. Not the concrete, but it went over the trail. So I just saw these like stripes moving, and right away I saw it, and I stopped. And I was alone at the moment, at that time. But then I saw a couple walking this way, and there was a moment where like the snake finally moved away, and they were walking through, and I didn't want to scare the girl Because I felt like if I would have said, "Hey guys, careful, there's a rattlesnake," she would have like freaked out.
Yeah.
So she ended up. They ended up just walking through.
So yeah, that's
Yeah, the Capitol Peak.
yeah. Look, it's in Snowmass.
Yeah, that was
And
nice.
then I found one in the Rocky Red Rocks, but hold on. Sorry, but you were saying?
Yeah, and then they finally passed by. And then I was like, "Oh shit, careful!" I saw a rattlesnake over there, and they were like, "Oh shit!" But the rattlesnake just moved through the trail and just kept going. And I remember thinking like, that was crazy. I've never seen a rattlesnake or a snake
I don't
in the
think I've
wild.
ever seen a rattlesnake either.
I've never seen a snake. Period.
You've never seen a snake? In the wild.
Yeah, I mean, there's you see them in
You
zoos.
see the little green
people holding
thin
them.
ones, but
I never saw a snake in the wild. You know, so that's really what you gotta look out for. Is like where you're stepping. You know, because a snake bite out there would be very bad.
oh, that's an emergency.
Yep.
You can lose your limb, your life, in a
Yep.
matter of minutes. You got to go to the hospital, get the antidote.
Yes, and I heard it's very expensive as well.
Yeah. No, when you're out there, you have to be on full alert of your surroundings. There's no fucking around.
It's weird, right? Because it's like part of you, you're like, oh my god, this is amazing. I'm having the best time of my life. And then the other part of you is like,
Survival
snakes,
mode.
bears, mountain lions.
Yeah.
Look to your left, look to your right. What is that? Did that just move? So you're like on this crazy extreme, like heightened sense of alertness. It's really nothing I've ever experienced.
Well,
before
because
I started hiking.
you're more in tune of like the reality of things.
Right.
You know,
And
being in the moment.
Right. And you never feel that really in life.
Right.
Like you never feel like that sense of danger when you're, because like even driving, you're like, I'm kind of used to this. You know how things move.
Yeah.
There isn't that like sense of unknown, that sense of fear. But when you're out there, like at least for me, I felt like my animal woke up. Like all of a sudden I was in nature, somewhere I've never been, and on this super heightened alert. I was like, oh my god! I wasn't thinking about anything. Mm-hmm. I wasn't thinking about work, my phone, Instagram,
Nothing.
stress. Like I was so in the moment.
In tune.
And then you come out of it, and you're just like, what was that? Like I've never experienced that before.
Such a great feeling.
And it kept calling to me.
It feels like that's the moment when you feel most alive.
Right. Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely, yeah.
I love
Well,
it.
and it also feels familiar though, in a sense. It's like I've been here. Yeah. At least not me, but my DNA has been here.
Because it's our natural instinct.
Yeah.
I think it's
like this is where we came from.
sense.
There's something to like walking through nature, exploring a new territory. You know, like it felt so normal.
I feel like it's so integrated in our DNA that, that's why we can't explain the way we feel.
It was like I've been here before, but I've never been here before.
Right.
It was like that. It was very, very interesting, and I fell in love with it away.
It's addicting, of course.
It is addicting, yeah, because you're like, this is what I want to do.
Right?
I want to just. How funny though, if you think about it. Like we're doing it for fun in a sense, and they did it for like survival. I mean, these fuckers walked thousands of miles looking for resources, running away from bears and lions. Imagine how many predators there were back then. Wolves, and they're always like every day people are dying or not dying, like they're barely making it. Every day is like on the edge. Like all they want to do is have safety. And then we have so much safety. We go back to those places. Like it's so interesting because like if you would have brought them over here, they would never want to go back. They'd be like, take us away from that terrible place called nature. And here we are going with our little backpacks and our drone and our GoPro. Like, oh my god, this is where we came from. It's so strange.
Man.
And it's great until it's not great. Right?
That's
it's
what I was
great
going to say. Yeah,
until you run out of food, until you run out of water.
Then you're going to want to go back. Like,
then you're like,
this. I can't
take me away
anymore.
from this fucking place. Yeah.
Right.
It's so interesting though how we do this, like voluntarily. We want to go out there and risk ourselves.
We say we want to be there for a really long time. And
right, but we don't.
But we don't.
We don't. Yeah.
After a while.
After a couple days of like sleeping in
I was
going
to ask you, how long do you think it would take for you to realize that?
Well, would
it be like a week?
I did like
a month?
4-day backpacking hike, where you like put a backpack on.
4 days is not enough though.
It's not, but on day 3, I was like, get me out of here.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
Oh shoot.
I mean, but I still want to go back, and I would still do more. But for my first time, I was
Yeah.
like, man, this is rough.
Yeah.
Like, you don't sleep well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because we're used to
You're
sleeping
in this
in the
nice AC,
AC.
and bed is like, for one thing you notice that like you take for granted is a leveled bed. Because over there, everything
Mm.
is land. It's natural. You're not gonna have a perfectly even floor.
But you look for that spot, though. I
Yeah,
mean, you're
but
not
like
gonna
what camping
camp
we're
on
gonna
a
do is gonna
hill.
be a little platform that was created for us. It's gonna be like a little flat surface.
Oh, I see what you're
When
saying.
you're backpacking, this was in Yosemite. We were going like off into the wilderness. There was parts where it wasn't leveled. We had to just find the most leveled spot we could, but it wasn't perfectly leveled. And you don't
Not
realize it
even
at first,
What?
but then you lay in it after a long day. Like imagine you've been hiking for like 12 hours. You finally get to the campsite. You're like, all right, this is a spot. You have to set up camp. Then you have to start cooking. Then you have to prepare for the next day. And then you finally lay in bed and you're just there and you smoke a joint and you relax. And then you feel the bed is on a slope. It's on a hill. And you're like,
Oh
oh
man.
no. And then you try to go to sleep.
Oh
And
man.
it's tough.
I'd be nauseous. Like
It's
what
tough.
is
You
going on?
you always feel like you're about to
You're-
slide off the mountain.
Because your equilibrium.
It's so off, yeah.
Oh,
And you
God.
take for granted a flat bed. I was like, I don't think I've
Okay,
ever
that's
slept
bad.
on a little hill. And it wasn't even that much. It wasn't crazy, but after a couple of hours of laying there, you realize it. Like you feel it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you take for granted even a flat surface. Think about how weird it
think
is,
maybe
though,
a
to
week.
sleep on a flat surface.
Yeah. I mean,
Nothing
I
is
can. Well, I
perfectly
can sleep
flat.
anywhere. I feel like I can find a spot and I'll just sleep in the corner somewhere.
Yeah, but the
don't
flat
have a problem
surface, that was
sleeping.
something that got to me. It was something that was interesting. I was like, I never thought about this. Let me open this up. It's going to rain.
I think it probably would take me a week, and then I'd be like, "Oh man, I want to go home.
Oh, so my point was like after that, you
Like
finally,
I need a shower."
after that, you finally get to the Airbnb. You know, we've been hiking for 4 days. We're covered in like dirt and mud, and like my toenails are bleeding because of all the
Oh my
walking.
God.
And you know those
Ooh, I saw
you know
lightning.
those movie scenes where like there's always the main character and he's like in the shower and there's like blood and mud like just dripping off of
Yeah.
him like he just went through war.
Yeah.
I had one of those scenes like at the Airbnb. I just
Oh
get
my
there and I'm just
God.
there and I just see blood and like dirt coming off of me
Oh
and
my
I'm just like that
God.
was crazy what we just did, a 4-day
Holy
backpacking
shit.
hike trip. Because backpacking is very different because you're going into wilderness and you have to take everything with you. And there's always, because where we're going, it's, you know, the car's right there. But there's this heightened sense like you can't even hurt yourself. You can't even twist your ankle because we're going so far into the wilderness. If you fuck up your ankle, you know what I mean? Like, and you can't walk, I have to go get help.
Yeah.
And
There's no calling time out.
right. And that's the tricky thing about that. And you're also carrying all this stuff. You know, you have all the walking, you have the physical labor. You know, you can twist your ankle easy. It's like things like that.
Damn, sucks.
Yeah, but it was so rewarding that we were able to get through that injury free. And then you get back to the Airbnb and you lay in the bed and you're like, oh my God. You hit the shower. You realize how rare it is to have a hot shower in nature. Like a cold waterfall, you can find that. But a warm waterfall, right? Like water coming at you from up here, and you just go like this,
I
and you
know.
just have warm water hitting you. That is, where do you find that in nature? Like a warm shower itself is not even
No,
natural.
it doesn't exist.
So crazy, but you don't think about this until you lose it
Right.
and then get it back.
No, you also don't think about like the moment you get hurt, then like
Yeah, the
realization starts to
comes
kick in, and you're
like,
like,
we're miles away
"Oh
from
my
our
God,
car.
like what am I gonna
And
do?"
the car is miles away from the nearest hospital because you have to drive out to the national park, which is like in the wilderness, and then
Yeah.
from there you decide to walk even further. I mean, there's like this real sense of danger. Like we can't get hurt out here.
Yeah.
We have to be like really, really careful and cautious. That's why you have to pick
Who
the
you're
person
going
you
with?
go with very wisely
I was
because
just
that
gonna
can make
say
and
that
break
because
it.
I feel like I would in that moment my nursing would kick in,
Yeah,
and
you'd
I'd
be
find
fine.
anything around me to improvise.
You're
and,
probably the best person to travel with.
Yeah.
In that sense, because like if
Probably.
something does happen, you know what to do. That's such a great skill to have, like knowledge to have.
Yeah. If I could bring an IV bag, I would.
This one, an IV bag.
Actually, I've done that before.
On a hiking trip? You
No,
took
no,
an
no,
IV
not
bag?
on a
Oh,
no,
I
not on
thought.
a hiking trip. But I think, or was it that I think I went to California and I brought with me an IV bag. which I didn't think I would be able to do, but
Preparing for the hangover.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't have to use it.
Good.
Yeah.
You can also just drink a lot of water.
Yeah, but if you're like vomiting nonstop and you can't
Sure,
hold
yeah.
anything in,
Yeah.
an IV is like the way to go. It's the best.
Yeah.
You've never had an IV?
No.
Right.
Not purposely.
Well,
Not one that I paid for.
well, when you get an IV and you feel right before like you're
Probably
super
could have used an IV
dehydrated.
in the Rainbow Mountain.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
I
For
felt
sure with your
terrible.
diarrhea. Oh my God.
I felt terrible.
That would have really, really helped you out.
Yeah.
For sure. Like everyone that I give an IV to, they
feel
tell
great
me
about
right away, like, oh man, I feel so much better. So hydrated.
No, I mean, look, fighters do it sometimes. Not anymore, though. But they used to be able to dehydrate themselves for a weight cut and then do an IV after. Now they took away IVs. So a lot of guys ended up moving up a weight class. And some of them didn't. They still suffered through. So crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Denver.
Denver.
14er. I'm excited.
Can't wait.
This is one of the easier 14ers, they say, but it's also one of the more that are the closest ones to Denver. We don't have that much time, so it'll be good to just be able to do that. But I'm sure we'll do a couple more.
When? I want to do all of it.
2 days later. Well, you say that now.
Because
and then
I
wait
feel like
till
the
we're on there and you
14er
can't
is going to
breathe.
be like a little chimichanga.
You think so? No.
I don't know.
It's going to be hard.
I don't
You're going to be like, holy shit. Every time.
What did I get myself into?
Yeah. I get excited about Colorado, but then anytime I land and right away I feel that like sense that I can't breathe as well, like I can't like fully inhale like down here on sea level. How lucky we are to have all this oxygen.
Yeah.
I realize like, oh shit, that's right, I can't breathe up here. But then you get used to it. You get used to it. But there is that like sense of, especially when you come back home to sea level. Yeah, because since we're not from there,
It's gonna be fun.
but it's always fun though. I always
I
have a
can't
great
wait.
time in Denver.
Me too. Denver's beautiful.
It's gonna be like my 4th time going back.
Me too. My 4th time.
Yeah, and you've never been in the. You've only been in the winter though, right? You never been
I've
in the
only
summer.
been in the winter. So
And I've only been in
every
the
time I
summer.
go, it's freezing cold. There's snow everywhere.
Every time I go, it's green. It's all
No,
green. Yeah.
that's why I can't wait to go now because I never got to experience the summer.
Yeah, it's awesome. There's so much
bet.
hiking you can do, and everything is open. In the
And
winter,
I love the
a
fact
lot
that
of things
during
are
the
closed.
day it's hot, it's warm.
Yeah, it gets really warm.
And then at night it's in like in
Cold.
the 60s.
Right.
Oh, I
Right.
love that.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna start this hike at 4 a.m. Well, 5:30. It's gonna be down in the 60s, and then by the time we get
Love
to the
it. That's
top, it'll be in the
perfect weather.
90s.
Perfect
Like how
weather.
crazy! 30 degrees of change within this hike we're gonna do. It's gonna be in the 90s when we get up there, and we have to probably sunscreen and all that because the
I
sun is
packed
pretty
that.
harsh up there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm bringing that for sure.
Yeah, it should be dope.
I can't wait.
All right, so we'll do a podcast when we get back.
Yeah. You gotta go?
See how it goes. Yeah.
Oh my god, you're quiet. It's at 5.
See you later, guys. Peace.
Bye.